81 Lane Pipe with the PVC Crew. Definitely a privilege and honor to have y'all along for the ride. I know we don't ask, but if y'all so happen to do, please like and subscribe to the page, of course. If y'all, especially if y'all like what the content and what we're putting out. We've been putting a lot of effort and energy. If y'all had a chance to check out the last podcast, shout out to Jason Lang. Salute to you, to all the endeavors. If y'all was paying attention to what we just dropped, there is something in the works. Got one of the PVC Podcast Crew members with Jason Lang. They putting together something special for y'all. Yeah, putting together something special for y'all, so it's gonna be cool to see. You're gonna start seeing seeing us boys in different venues and lights. So we're gonna be doing different things. But it's good that Jason Lang gave Paul the opportunity to work on a movie project. So we definitely appreciate that. But don't think that the rest of the boys like me and Big Hank will be watching along and making sure everything goes right. So we're gonna make sure.
My boy Paul, you'll be wrestling Decepticons.
We're gonna make sure everything is good. So shout out to them. Shout out to Centerline Gym, of course. You know that's where my boy Paul trains, of course. So shout out to them. Shout out to Chris Howder and all the family out there. We appreciate y'all rocking along as well. For all the people training out there who's been watching along. Keep grinding, keep hustling. Definitely want to throw a shout out in that regard as well. But before we get too deep into the conversation, see this man already cheesing. He already had me. He's trying to hold it in.
That was like a promo. That was like a big promo.
He's trying to hold it in. He's
trying
to hold it in. Trying to get off. He all got that nervous energy ready to bounce.
You can't see it because it's a little dark in here, but he's blushing.
But you know how we do. You know how we do, family. Like always, I'm gonna let Paul introduce himself. Say what's up to the people, family.
What's up, people? Tuning in to episode 81. At it again at the tables with my boys. Got a lot to discuss today, but on the bright side, you know, it's a lovely day on this Monday. You know, happy to be alive, happy to, you know, still grinding and pushing forward and stuff like that, like my boy Cam said. Most and foremost, you know, shout out to my boy Jason Lang for giving me this opportunity. Looking forward to be working with him on this project. Besides that, you know, just another day at the table. So I'm gonna pass it to my boy Vic. Vic, say what's up.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be back at it again at the table here with PVC Podcast Crew, episode 81. We're going to be talking about something a little bit recent today, a little bit, in all honesty, disturbing, but I'm sure you may have heard of it. We'll get into it in a bit, but before we start with that, always glad to have you with us, listening along with us. As always, we hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please follow along with us, as if the Lord wills it, there will be more content to come in the future. And even if this is our last episode, there's plenty of others to listen to before then. So if you like this one, I encourage you to listen to episode 1. We've come a long way from it all, and I'm sure you'll notice the difference from 1 to 81. Can't wait till we're at 100 of them. Now, Cameron, take it away.
Ooh, Cam, a.k.a. Mr. Nerd Boy Fresh.
Ficky.
Follow me on the gram and all that good stuff. Y'all know how we get down. Let's start right here. Off topic, but kind of will lead to a bigger topic. So in Japan,
it is off topic. That's a far away place.
Yeah. So,
are we even allowed?
No, we're gonna talk about Japan. We're gonna talk about Japan because it's kind of a topic that's been thrown around recently. So it's probably a good jump off point. So I guess in Japan, they're having a little bit of a population crisis.
That's been the thing since ever, though. No?
Yeah, because you know how Japan gets down. You know, there's smaller country, whatever it may be.
I swear that was a joke in Austin Powers. I don't swear, but I'm pretty sure that was a joke in Austin Powers.
It was.
I could be wrong, but that sounds like a joke.
Yeah, it was like, you know.
I think it was when he was like twins, Basil. Twins.
But it's crazy because now they're requesting the likes of African American gentlemen to go over there and help repopulate the country
Cameron, this sounds like a news article
Wait a
from
minute.
Forbes, man.
No,
What are you talking about?
no. Go ahead.
So-
Go ahead.
So basically,
Calm
what
down.
they say,
That's
they want some brothers to come over
They want
there.
some brothers to come.
They want brothers for sons? What do
They want,
Yes.
they want the brothers to come over there to style it up, to get their reps up,
But,
a little swag.
ain't they-
No, forget that. They want children. They want
But
babies.
ain't they, ain't
They're
they
trying
a
to
little-
repopulate because they're trying to get the country.
Brother man, ain't they a little racist?
Well, this is part
Don't
of this.
they
No,
hate
this is the
Quote unquote
conversation.
mixed kids?
This is part of the conversation. This is why I
I'm
want
not
to
trying
bring
to be
it
funny,
up.
but that's like a real
Because-
problem over there.
Well, see, here's the problem that they have is that apparently they're not generating enough kids amongst themselves.
Let me go off.
No, go, get with it, go.
So, yeah, this whole Japan population crisis thing has been going on for a long time.
True.
Japan, the Japanese people are very, very business-minded people. This is shown in their way of life. And their way of life, shockingly enough, does not really allow for a family life. Women aren't getting married, men aren't getting married, kids aren't being married. Why? Because they're so consumed with work. If it's not work, it's school. I mean, the whole mindset over there is go to school for a long time, get a high-paying job, and then just make a lot of money. There's really no room for a husband or a wife in all that. If anything, Japan's way of life is hostile to the family. This has kind of been changing over time, but it's still deeply rooted because, like I said, they're very business-minded, right? And it doesn't help that for the longest time I won't go as far to say xenophobic. They have gotten better, but they don't care for the darker types. That is very prevalent. Like I said, this has changed a lot, but I would be hard pressed to if three of us were in the heartland of Japan, right? And say Paul here got himself a Japanese girlfriend. I don't think he would be getting too many good looks from the local populace. And again, like I said, things have changed, but from how they've been, things like this don't change overnight.
No, but see, that's
Because it's like deeply rooted in them because the elders were like this, they taught it to the kids are now older. Things are changing though, but there's just major skepticism to it.
Right. So this is where I took a lot of directions with this because I agree with you because they've been so.
This sounds like a bad anime.
Right. Yes, but it's one of those things that when you first hear about it, you hear about, okay, why is it even coming out in conversation?
What if it's just like the next Soylent Green?
No, that's
Wow.
crazy. That's
That'd be
crazy.
crazy right there.
So this is why this is why it brought up so many questions. It was like the first thing was it's like Japan, when it comes to their family structure, so to speak, they, at least the older generation, I should speak upon them, they really don't like intermixing, like, I don't care if it's black or anybody. They don't like intermixing. They don't like intermixing with nobody outside of Japan. I don't care if it's Japan and China or Japan and Filipino,
Korean.
Japan and Korean. They don't like to intermix at all.
Well, let's take the culture out of perspective right quick. So, for that to be said, I guess it would be open-minded not to say, well, why do they want something like this? Why do they want that? So now you want to open up certain doors now to say, you know what, we're traditional, but we're willing to sacrifice something in order to get better populations over here. So basically, because you never hear so many things outside of Japan, like you never hear them say, oh, they had a good concert, or you never hear about anybody touring over there, like from America. So like, I'm gonna shoot something over there. But you know
It's
what I mean?
not common.
Not common,
it's
but
not.
you know how many times every day you ever hear something about, oh, I was in Japan, besides out of, sports-wise, like WWE, they.
So,
Well, no, I get what I get your take. So you're saying that you don't really hear a lot from Japan.
Yeah.
I think Japan is one of those crazy
just leave it at that. That's
allure.
good.
It's crazy, but it's one of those allure places. Like people want to travel there, people would hang out there, but you're concerned about nobody comes out of there, sort of.
Have you heard of the phrase "forbidden fruit"?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing I do know. Because Japan is very tech heavy, and because they're tech heavy, they're not.
That's another problem.
They're not entertainment heavy.
Yeah.
They're not. So they got J-pop stars and stuff. Japanese stars and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of their artists though, they're not going to be known in pop circles, sort of like popular music, so to speak. They're known in other venues. So that's one thing I do know about Japanese artists. You'll get them a lot in like scoring movies, video games, things like that when it comes to music, movies. You'll see some of them intermix here and there. They're not super duper stars. That's only because in America we don't see it, but if you're in Europe or on their side of town, they are pretty prominent. They're just not as. It's not like K-pop. If that makes sense.
So let's go back. Where did you hear this?
So this has been the going story. This has been like one of the bigger YouTube stories that's been dropping out because it's been like an announcement to say that they want black guys.
Did they specifically say black?
Yes. Now, here's
why?
So this is part of the conversation piece because this is why it's like okay. At first, so when you think about
it's just so
when you think about Asian cultures mixing, think about it. Whether it's Chinese, Korean, Japanese, we'll take those three. We're not going to include Filipino, some of this, but let's take those three. Normally, when you hear about them intermixing, they only intermix with either themselves or white American. Why? Because it's a money thing, kind of like what you said. They're business-minded first and foremost. So, why is it all of a sudden that you're asking the brothers out of all people? So here's what you skipped.
Hold on, real quick.
No.
Please, I gotta get this. You don't happen to think certain stereotypes aren't playing in it?
Yes, this is what I'm getting to. Because here's what you just skipped. You skipped Spain, Italy, Germany, Korean.
Now, off the topic.
No, this is it.
Off the topic, are they doing this just because they saw one at home mix with African American, or it's just something that curious wise? Because you can't just sit there and say, oh, now we want black people.
No, because
we want to mix it up with black people. Unless something happened.
That's what I'm trying to figure out because that's the one thing that's not being said.
One of their daughters end up with one of us. Or just out of curiosity.
I mean, I'm gonna give you two different approaches.
Because, like Victor said, it sounds like it's a big stereotype.
Is it a money thing? One thing. I don't know if it's about money. But here's a part I didn't tell y'all yet. I know you're gonna put a big smile on your face, and you better not say nothing else when I tell you this. So, there is. see, you already know. There is. They are willing to pay.
Oh wow.
See how you got it. See how it. Hey, chat. Hey.
No.
See how you got cheese and stuff. You got it. They're willing to pay $75,000. $75,000 for black men.
Wait, are we bringing back slavery?
$75,000. So here's what they're telling you. So why are they coming for us? If you put $75,000 out to anybody, exactly.
Yeah, for like a month.
Exactly.
No, for like a month.
No,
Exactly.
$75,000 with no. Keep in mind, with no other financial obligation, meaning that you're not paying child support, things like that. You're not paying child support, and you're getting another $75,000. So basically, in real world terms, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably saving yourself about, if you got the baby at birth, in this day and age, it's about $300,000 $300,000 is what you'd be saving in child support. Plus, you get another $75 on top of that.
Wait a second. Hold on.
That's a hustle.
Do they want marriages or just children?
Children.
So they just want the guy to get the woman pregnant and then leave.
Well, they could be involved, of course.
Because that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Because if they're solely concerned about population, I'm surprised they're not just taking from sperm banks.
This goes into this goes into all the questions. So why are you throwing a bounty on babies? That's one, because now you're throwing a bounty, $75,000. It's hard for anybody to pass this.
What's the word that somebody, if you can get somebody pregnant, they'll pay for it just to have a baby?
Yeah, surrogate.
Surrogate, yeah.
So it's basically it's a surrogate system where you're paying $75,000 for surrogacy.
But here's the question: do they want the brothers to stay, or do they want them to just handle?
They don't have. No. It's a good question. No, that's the thing. And there is a reason why they don't need them to stay. They just want the baby. But why do you want the black baby?
See, I think that's what's interesting about this, because
that's kind of the story I'm trying to get y'all to understand.
Because
scratch. And here's the thing: they're throwing a big enough bag that most black people would be like, $75,000, and no real financial obligation. I may have to think about that.
Here's the thing, too. It's just so for the longest time, we talked about this a minute ago. The only real Japanese were those who were both Japanese parents, Japanese lineage, born and raised in Japan. That was a Japanese person. But it seems now that it's not so heavily raised. A Japanese person is just the person who's born in Japan and is going to be raised with Japanese values, which I'm sure if what you're saying is true, and they don't care if the father stays or not. I think they'd probably prefer it if he doesn't stay, because they want that child to have purely Japanese influence growing up.
I get that, but here's the kicker. Let's throw this out. It's a very good take, by the way. Let's throw this out there. There was a military base, a Marine one, amongst other military bases there.
Well, since they're putting a bounty out, they have been doing a good job.
I mean, it's like you have a military base. Now, I'm pretty sure it's littered with all kind of people, black otherwise. You mean to tell me that you just couldn't pull up to the military base and be like, look, all y'all Marines, I know y'all ain't been getting none since y'all been on the roads and y'all been out here for 3 years. Y'all want to impregnate some of these real quick. We ain't gonna put no obligation. We'll pay y'all a little bit of bread.
Y'all heard of Okinawa?
We'll pay y'all a little bit of bread and y'all can dip. And y'all have no obligation.
What movie is that? I forgot the name of that movie.
Okinawa.
No.
Okinawa was featured in the Karate Kid Part 2, by the way. If y'all saw
an army movie.
Okay, so
Pearl Harbor.
So let's push ourselves a little forward here. What sparked this?
So the kicker is, I guess,
it's a little late for April Fool's.
No, yeah. No, I guess what sparked this is that the Japanese people are not really having babies on their own. So the first thing that they tried to do was try to get them to just, hey, y'all gotta, try to force the issue. They try to get them to couple it up. Then what they did was, yeah. They try to do the they try to tell them, hey, look, y'all really should have babies. Try to promote babies. That's why they kind of took away the whole condom, contraceptive, all that stuff. They don't really talk about that stuff.
Yeah, don't they? Isn't it one of the lowest places for abortion?
Yes, it's like the
Which is a
lowest.
great thing, by the way.
So that didn't work. Well, it worked for a period of time, but it stopped working. So here's the second thing they try to do. They try to over-sexualize the women. Make them so that they are hyper-sexualized in every form or fashion to get the guys to do it.
This horrifically backfired because they fell in love with drawings and hated reality.
Then that's where you get all your manga, anime, all that stuff coming out of Japan, super sexualized. They thought that was gonna work.
They were literally like, no,
It worked. It just didn't work with their own people. It worked with everybody else but them. Because now you have every other race have a fascination with Japanese women.
Because they know.
I'm just being honest with you. I'm being honest with you because that's how people got their fascination of Japanese people because of what they saw, the Harajuku, all this.
For them wise, I mean, even everybody's so traditional. Let's just get that perfectly good.
Yes.
You got your Japanese traditional, Spanish traditional, certain white people traditional, stuff like that. People their own race. But the problem is, as time goes by, people got curious. So curiosity is okay if we mix in. And now I get it, they curious
and that's
for the brothers, or the sisters.
Because because before, and here's the kicker, before it was the taboo thing. The taboo thing before maybe 15 years ago was that you could not be with a black person if you were of Asian descent, whether it was Chinese, Japanese, or Korean. Now, fast forward, hip hop culture, everything comes into play. This is where all this comes in. Now it's, okay, we want the brothers to come through. What? Cause you just want y'all want the swinging.
Oh, this is so funny.
y'all want the swing. Y'all want the swing-a-lang. Y'all want. I mean, come on. Y'all be.
They were just curious about our food.
I mean, they ain't curious about that. Y'all curious about them Franks, but we ain't going there with y'all.
When did this take effect?
They just started talking about this just recently, and here's the kicker. Now, here's what happens back home with us. Now, all of our girls is like, looking at it all crazy, like, don't y'all be thinking about going out there to Japan and all this stuff.
Somebody already is. They already probably.
Well, actually, here's the thing.
They already got, quote unquote, the passport bros. They've been going out anyway.
That's what I was about to bring up. This has been a thing for a while. Like, American guys have been tired of American women for a good minute, so they've just been going to foreign countries.
Yes.
Japan among them, but I'm talking Spain, France, Canada even.
They've been going to
anywhere, just not the U.S.
Yeah, they've been going to Thailand, Brazil, Philippines, Amsterdam. They've been going every place else but getting women out here. Now, it goes into the thing of why, and I think it's because of the way that the women have become out in the West, out in our areas in the West, versus every place else at this juncture in time.
Well,
and I say at this juncture in time because that could easily change as we de-evolve.
Well, there's three things that have horrifically affected the American populace. The first one being feminism. Some people will say first wave feminism was good, but when you really dig in deep into the history of feminism, which I encourage people to do, you'll realize that it was bad from the start. It didn't start off good, it was just bad from the beginning and it just got worse.
Right.
That's why it's as bad as it is now. Another one is, what's it called? DEI, or diversity, inclusion.
Diversity, equality, inclusion.
Oh yeah, DEI, yeah. That's another bad one. That's affecting not only business, but the people around. Funny enough, that has caused more racism than anything else. And then the third one would probably be the LGBTQ stuff. See, these three things in tandem have been working together. Oh, we're going to have to. These three things together have been working together in tandem to influence the American populace via TikTok, via YouTube, via Reddit, anything, really, just online. And it's been bearing its rotten fruit in the minds of people. I mean, look at these colleges nowadays. Look at these college protesters. Half of those kids out there protesting against Israel don't even know why they're doing it.
Exactly.
They're just there.
They're doing it just to participate.
But that's my point, is that these three things have taken away critical thinking skills, have taken away responsibility, and have, worst of all, blinded people to God. Now, granted, there were other things doing that, but this is really doing it. And because of that, the American populace, not just the American populace, but the people of the West have been suffering for it. I mean, you hear the phrase a lot, one nation under God, right?
It's one nation.
Now, that's still true to this day. America is still under God. But it's not under his blessing, it's under his wrath.
Right.
And that's what we're witnessing. People are being given over to their minds. The worst thing that could happen to anyone, I mean anyone, is being given over to their own fantasies. To completely live inside their own heads. What happens when that happens?
I'll talk about that later.
What happens when that happens is just spiritual death.
Yep.
You become completely self-centered, you become completely dead to others, even though you're alive, you're dead. Because all you're doing is just feeding your own carnal flesh. Whether it be filling it with images, filling it with video, filling it with music, food, debauchery, drugs, anything. You're just doing whatever you can to fulfill your flesh. That's what the Western institutions nowadays have been promoting. Everyone else is wrong. Live your authentic self, and apparently your authentic self is nothing more than an animal.
You just said something important. Everybody's
Right.
wrong. Live your authentic self.
Right.
And I think,
You know, the authentic self thing is like, no. People don't need to look inward, they need to look outward. Because when people look inward, you're going to find three things. You're going to find sin, you're going to find darkness, and then you're going to find pride. That's a horrible mix, especially with pride. Because that's what pride is. You're looking at yourself all the time. You're looking inward all the time. You're thinking of yourself all the time. It's you all the time. That's pride. I know there are people who say that, people who, they seem like they have no pride, those who are full of self-pity and, doubt. But it's still a form of pride because you're just still thinking of yourself. It's all about you. That's what pride is. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. If it's all about you, that's pride, and pride is awful. That's the problem nowadays with just everything. It's blinded to God, looking inward, and then just this horrific, I tell you, advertisement of selfishness everywhere.
Hold on. Hold your thought. Go ahead, you good.
But, I mean, that's the problem nowadays.
You old.
That was, yeah.
That boy was old, buddy.
But that's just the thing. I mean, that's why the most important thing for a believer to do is to proclaim the kingdom of God. Is to proclaim Christ. People want to know, how do we fix this nation? Quite literally, evangelize. That's it. Just evangelize. Well, what if they don't listen? That's on them. You did your part. You deliver the mail. Whether they read it is up to them. And that's what you got to do. That's what people got to do.
Right.
Now, hold on. Almost done.
I got you.
Right. But that's the key to fixing this. People are estranged from God. And when people are estranged from God, there's nothing but dead and darkness. And that's what we're seeing. The only hope is to introduce them to Christ, and through introducing them to Christ, they put their faith in Him and repent from sin, and have a relationship with God through Christ. That's the hope, and that's the only way that any nation can ever have true blessing.
True.
Now, looking at America and the West as a whole, you could say, that seems impossible. Yes, it is impossible with man. Wow, nothing is impossible. So, anytime, and I'm speaking to the fellow believers out there who proclaim Christ and have been baptized, I am just saying simply this, is that I understand that it's difficult to evangelize to this crazy world. It's not easy, and it can be hard, especially when you're by yourself. I just encourage you, just trust in the Lord. Pray about it, read the Word about it, and then buy some tracts, hand out tracts. Simply doing that can have an impact. No, tracts.
No, not.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm sorry.
But to hand out tracts and then just proclaim Christ, that's all you got to do. That's all you have to do. And I encourage people to do that because that's the only way, not only will souls be saved, but this nation may last another century.
So,
that's my tangent over.
No, I got you. You good. And which, first of all, eloquently put, like always.
You know, like
here's a couple of tidbits. One, would y'all really entertain doing something like this for real?
Oh, you mean going to the Japan thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would go as a missionary. That's about it.
I mean, I got that part. Which, yeah, you definitely more missionaries out there. That's a fact. But would you go out there? No, would you go out? What you don't? No, you ain't. Nah. You already know. We don't get down like that. We answer questions around here. $75,000.
Looking at the camera.
Yeah, Japanese woman that you could potentially have a relationship with or not.
It's just a paid vacation. That's not what it is. It's just a paid vacation.
So would you do
get some
it?
bread to go out there, just go
Would you do it?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you.
The lie detector says
no. Reason why I won't do it.
Get it with the boring.
Reason why
you saying those because
reason why I'm saying no is because I can see the look in my grandmother's face. God rest her soul. If she heard if I did something like this.
Now here's the thing.
But at the same time, $75K. Okay, cool. It's a lot of money. But at the same time, if I'm gonna bring somebody into this world, I'm gonna do it the right way. It ain't a whole lot of money in the world if they give me out there.
No, wait.
And here's the thing. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
This is
but
USD?
Huh?
USD or yen?
Yen, which is actually valued more.
Yeah.
You know, 75,000 in yen is actually valued at almost like $100,000.
Let me pull out the trend and keep talking.
Somewhere in that area. It's a lot. It's a lot of bread. So when there's a lot of people, and I'm gonna keep it honest with you. There's a lot of black people, a lot of us, who've done a lot worse for a lot less.
Yeah.
No. This is the reason why. This is part of the reason why I brought this. This is part of the reason why I brought this topic up, because you think that, well, dang, it's bringing a baby into the world that I may or may not have to have an obligation to, all this stuff. I don't have to have no child support. All I have to do is be a sperm donor. I've seen people do dirt, be in jail for $50. Get over $50 in a box of Yoo-Hoos. For real. That's what I'm saying. It's like you've seen people do stuff for a lot less.
But it's like,
are you sure it's 75,000 yen?
Yes.
No, that's only $480.
Or whatever they want, or whatever it may be. Because I know it's the equivalent of $75,000.
I mean, that's enough. That's enough to okay. Yeah, because
it's
that's enough to get you there and back. That's about it.
It's like $1,000, whatever you put.
Okay, that's why I had to ask. Because it's like you come out there, here's $450.
$450. No, because the won or whatever their currency is in Japan is.
Sorry, I just.
No, it's a good question.
I wasn't even curious on that. But to answer your question, like I said before,
people done a lot.
Yes. I've seen people. I know people who fought over just for $1.
Exactly.
But it's like
they will fight.
Now you go into it. But why go to Japan? You can easily do that out here.
And see, here's the thing, because think about the obligation out here.
I mean, even though they paying,
you could be a sperm donor out here, yes, but it's not going to be to that degree. And then you're not really going through the whole process of they want, in Japan, it's not just the go drop in, drop sperm and dip.
They want marriages?
They want the whole physical aspect of it.
Well, they gotta come on here.
And that's the whole thing. And certain ones, they said they were willing to fly them out here in order to do as such. This is all part of the conversation piece. I know it seems crazy.
It's just a thing of curiosity.
Because why would you put it out there?
I think
but you put it out there
to see who's gonna jump.
No, because
you don't put a fish on the hook unless you know you're gonna reel it in.
No, here's the thing. You're putting it out there because they know black people would jump. You see how froggy that sounds like? The reason why I want to bring this out there, because they knew they threw the right number out there. So they calculated all the numbers and said, Well, 75,000 sounds like a good number. Most black guys would actually jump at the opportunity at $75,000. Not trying to be funny. I'm just saying that. But here's the thing: you didn't throw that for no white dudes. You didn't throw that for no Spanish dudes. You didn't throw that for no Latin dudes or no Italian dudes. Because the number, no, because we would jump at 75,000. We'll jump off a second-story building in our draws for 75,000. We've done it.
I think.
Shout out to Kai Sanat and I Show Speed and them fools who doing reckless stuff for less.
So what you're saying is it's not that. Well, yes, it may seem like a race thing. It's not like, okay, who can we take advantage of the most?
Right.
So it's not because certain stereotypes or anything like that. It's just like, okay, black people seem to be the most desperate for cash. We can get them to do whatever we want.
And think about, now here's the other kicker. Think about, in most instances, a lot of black people, for real. Who are your athletes?
Right now?
Yes.
Who's Kareem Jabbar?
Who are your athletes?
Like, wait, hold on. Time out. So let's put it in perspective. Like, who are your athletes, popular or expensive?
Forget the popularity.
Okay.
70% of football players are what?
Black.
95% of 90% of basketball players is what?
Black.
About 40% of baseball players is black.
You think they should have did this during Black History Month?
First of all, I like it. I like that boy right there, boy. Should you have done it during Black History Month, boy? They would have.
Because it would have made history.
They would have caused a riot if they'd done that, because you got two schools of thought. Because you have two, like I said.
I just thought about it.
No, because you got two schools of thought.
That would be worse than this.
Because one school of thought would be, go get your money, man. Is one school of thought. The other school of thought is, really, this is how y'all, this is what y'all really think of us. Now, the crazy thing is, they think of us like, well, you're so athletically gifted. My kids to be taller because Japanese people.
Slavery. You see, we had to go to slavery. We had to go in.
Well, you gotta understand, but this is all, they throw all this in a vacuum, and they said, with all this being said, the value of what that would be is $75,000 and no additional financial obligation.
Now we gotta also clarify. They
Why
want.
was they giving me a nice house in something?
No, forget all that. Forget all that. Japan is dope. Japan is dope. Otherwise, as far as like the inner city stuff is dope. I'm not having.
It's like they should wrap it up.
No, it's a street sweeper. And I ain't talking about the.
No, you don't hear no gunfire yet. But here's the question.
I ain't talking that GTA
They want
stuff.
black men, but not black women.
That's the other thing. Now here's the kicker.
Because apparently, I'm sorry.
So for all the black women who watches along.
Explain yourself.
Wow.
I can't explain that one. I can say some bad sisters right now.
because now that's the other part of the conversation.
Taking our brothers, huh?
A lot of the sisters are getting upset because
Haven't
that
you
was
felt
like
that way for a while.
It's on both sides. It ain't just the it ain't just the brothers.
no, it's both sides because you gotta understand. If y'all, I don't want to have that conversation right now.
If we're gonna keep it tall, because 9 out of 10,
Here we go.
9 out of 10.
Let me get comfy.
If a sister sees a brother with a female outside of race, they don't like it.
Of course they're not. You want to know why? Because they think that they're better, and in a lot of respects, if you don't present yourself as better, then you're not going to get better, ladies.
Why do you think it's a lot of mixed couples?
Yeah, you want to know why it's mixed couples? It's because here's the honest answer: most black women.
You should have just started that off.
No, this is not what the topic was. But most black women do not present themselves in a way that is favorable 9 times out of 10. Here's why I say that. You don't dress proper. You're typically overweight.
Ooh, you fighting for that.
You don't keep your hair together unless it's fake. Everything is artificial.
Get me a cab killed. They're gonna get me and him killed.
Are you gonna hear the street?
No, but see, the reason why I say that is because
But he's not lying.
no, the reason why I say that is because they say that, oh well, our people are going to other races, but you don't put yourself in a favorable light, which allows other people to say that, look, if your own women and don't like y'all, They don't generate enough money. They don't live up to my lifestyle. They don't make $500,000 a year. This is what you hear from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want us. All right, bet. We'll go someplace where they actually want us.
Quite literally.
And they want us. And it's not just them. A lot of other races are starting to want black people. Because here's what they found. Here's what they found with black men to be true.
I know.
We're not all thugs. We're not all
Say that again.
Let me say it for the congregation in the back. Not all black men are thugs. We're not all in the streets. There's a lot of us who are really educated, who really make a decent amount of money, who really treat women well, who really are about the right thing, who really do love God, believe it or not. They do all of these things. Yes, and they think that.
Why you pointed at me?
No, because it goes back to what you said earlier. They really do love God, but the thing is that most women don't respect that, and they be like, well, it's not enough. So if you don't think it's enough, there is other people who think it's well enough. So and then you get mad if they do go outside of the race or get somebody who is not you, but you're the one who's 300 pounds with butterfly fake eyelashes, fake hair, fake everything, and then you're mad when you don't get chose.
Cameron, hold on.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. You got me going this way, and I want you to go this way.
No, but here's the question. There are very clear examples of just gorgeous black women.
Yes.
We know they exist. We've seen them with our eyes.
Yes.
So the question is, it's not a race thing, but it's an environment thing. No. Or is it really a race thing? Are black women, would you say, at a disadvantage in appearance compared to other races, just from get-go?
No, I'm a be honest
9
with you,
times out of 10, the answer is no, except for one inherent thing that they try to adjust for, and that is their hair. Outside of that, they are not at a, there is no woman technically at a disadvantage. So black women are not necessarily at a disadvantage from birth.
Does this go back to the
No, well, part of it, but not really. But more importantly is that what black women try to do, they try to just go any which way. When other races go out, they always go out with, I'm going to be presentable at all times, no matter what.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but here's why it's important. But when you see, most of the times when people are going out there looking crazy, with a bonnet on their head, wearing pajamas, sloppy t-shirt, things like that, who is it? Say it again. Say it loud with your chest.
Black people.
It's us. We do that stuff. We're the ones whose guys half the time with sweatpants on, sagging way too hard, crack showing. That's us.
We can't forget the Cookie Monster pajamas.
Yeah, true. That's us. So more often than not, we're the ones who generate that stigma. We do that because we don't, we act like we don't care until it's time for us to care. But if you go in with
I like how you said that.
We act like we don't care until it's time for us to care. And the only time to care is when you get shut out and blocked out from something that you want. Yeah. Oh, that guy look cute. But, oh no, he's with the Asian girl. That guy looks cute. He drives a decent car. He has a decent job. But he's with a black girl, but it ain't them. And the problem is that you get a lot of this stuff is because those women don't present themselves until they feel like they want to care, and then they want to change.
So the question is, what does it take for that to change?
You start presenting yourself respectable at all times. That goes for anybody. That's not just a guy-girl thing. That's with everybody. Stop just going up there and act like you don't care, and then all of a sudden when you feel like caring, that's when you feel like you want to do something. If you conduct yourself and present yourself good at all times, no matter what you're doing, you'll understand that the results will always change. You will understand that being 300 pounds as a female is not acceptable in most realms.
I didn't get it.
You'll understand that, going out just dressed any which way is not going to fly when you're walking by another female who's walking in with jeans and a t-shirt way out dressing you and she's just dressing basic. I don't care if you're just walking into a Walmart. You'll be surprised what you will find in a Walmart.
You know what the crazy thing is?
Yeah, that's true.
You'll be surprised, good and bad. The reason why, God, I shouldn't even say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Shout out to my peoples at Walmart. You will be surprised what you see in regards to how people are at Walmart. The reason why Walmart has its own, the reason why people think that Walmart's so much of a terrible store is because people don't care when they roll up into a Walmart. They don't care about how they look. They don't care about how they conduct themselves. They typically go out there to act the fool in a Walmart. Why?
Compare that to a Walmart.
Compare that to Target.
Target.
You don't see people walking around in pajamas in no stinking Target. You don't see people walking around in a bonnet to go to Target. I've seen black people go into a Walmart with a bonnet and all this stuff, walking around rolling in a wheelchair. They go into a Target and they're presentable as if it's something different. It's the same type store. They sell similar product. The only difference is you have the perception that one store is one way and another store is different. So why are you presenting yourself over there and not over here? Shouldn't you present yourself no matter where you go? As soon as you step out the house, you should be presentable at all times. But see, people don't want to hear that part of the conversation. They don't want to hear that you got to be presentable at all times. If you're somebody who loves God, you should be loving God all the time, not just when you feel like it, right? Mm-hmm. So why is it different when it comes to your presentation? You shouldn't just do it just because you feel like it or you feel that you're threatened. Now you got to do it.
And I think that's the more problem with people.
You feel threatened. And now you want to prove something. But guess what happens after you prove your point? Then you revert. But if it's not your lifestyle,
not necessarily all the time, because I've seen people just say, you know what, I'm gonna just change this just because I just sort of for me, not for everybody else.
Yes,
so
there is certain people who will change and say, look, I've been this way most of my life. Now I'm going to change and become better. I get that part. I've seen that firsthand.
You know what? Speaking of, what's crazy? Kind of off topic, but not really. So speaking of black men in Japan, have you all seen the trailer for the new Ubisoft Assassin's Creed?
Not yet.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, well, let me tell you. Get this. This is feudal Japan, right? This is not modern Japan. It takes place in.
Mm-hmm.
And in the trailer, there is a straight up black samurai.
Yes.
In feudal Japan.
So this is how Ubisoft trying to push the button. They're trying to see Ubisoft trying to call themselves being woke. Take a look at the picture real quick. So they're one of those ones who they have a black samurai. First of all, dope, by the way. I'm not even mad at it. But what black samurai?
Sam Jackson.
First of all, shout out to Sam.
Afro Samurai.
Shout out to Sam with Afro Samurai. So shout out to Sam. First of all, Afro Samurai is a great anime. But on the real, you don't see that. But it goes back to the point you were just making. This is not regular, and it's not regular for them to ask. So they see. So the crazy thing is, the wrap this part. It's crazy for them to see value, but it's like they're putting a bounty on. They're putting a dollar sign on that value. So they see the value. They see that. Oh, well, black guys are cool. They could do this now. Before it was like, they wouldn't want a black person to be around their woman if their life depended on it.
Because they already know what the outcome and expectation will be.
I wonder what the Yakuza's thinking.
Obviously, they're cool enough with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I'm pretty sure they're the ones who probably even threw that in me.
Because you want to know why? Because
probably the ones who threw that
you'll know things are really changed when you see a black Yakuza member.
You will see that because you gotta understand, a lot of their culture is mixed already.
If it ain't already is. But to get back what you were saying, though, I do have a question. So, despite all the stuff that's happening right now, what Japan wants to do and this and that and the other, do you think that will change a lot of people's expectations on certain individuals when they see them with that culture? As far as wise, if you see me walking down the street with a different culture, would that expectation be higher?
It doesn't affect us out here because we're used to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect us out here.
You're gonna see it already.
Yeah, you're gonna see that.
That's a fact.
You're gonna see that as is. One of my boys, he's married to a Japanese woman. Yeah. We gotta pull up. We gotta pull up to that. Hold on.
Keep going.
One of my boys is married to a Japanese woman. I used to work with him at Micro Center. Cool dude. His girl, amazing. But the problem that you have is that it's regular for us. It's when you branch out. That's going to be the question. It's when you go other places. It's not when you are out here. It's, if you're in California, it's one thing. What does it look like when you're in Mississippi? What does it look like when you're in Atlanta? When the girls are going to be sitting up there trying to fight your girl because they got one of them. Because that's how black people get down. That's what they want to do. They want to try to assert dominance in other ways when they don't get what they want.
If they see you walking down the street, with your whatever
Yeah.
sisters on. Yeah, so, and I've seen this happen
Yeah,
in fights. But it's like, then the real question is, so what are you going to do about it?
It's not for me to do. I'm
No,
not
not
in
you.
that
I'm
situation.
talking about
But what is
when you see and it's
if you're in that situation, you just hold your own. Just like in anything else. If you're really wanting to be with somebody who is not necessarily of the same race, it is no problem with that.
No, that's not the problem.
It's not a black thing or a white thing. Don't cliche it. It's a God thing. Whoever the Lord designed for you to be with, you're going to be with, and that may not necessarily be you necessarily with somebody of your culture. If it is, it's cool.
Pull up scripture.
Go ahead.
About this.
Go ahead.
But before I do, give me a minute to find it. While I'm looking for it, Cameron, say your son is about 5 years younger and he wants to do this. What are you telling him?
My son is at the point where he could potentially
he's
ask.
5 years younger.
Well, like 18.
Yes.
I would tell him he's a little bit young and not to necessarily go about it in this manner. Don't do it for the sake of money.
Encouragement or discouragement?
No, it's a teaching moment. Meaning that it's not one of those like, well, don't go over there. It's not going to be me barking at him and tell him no. It's more of the, here's why I wouldn't do this because even when he was 17, 18, getting ready to be a Marine, guess where he could have wound up being? In Japan. And I guarantee you, if he was stationed in Japan, 9 times out of 10, the answer to the question would have been, he would have most likely been with a Japanese woman. God honest answer. And when he gets a chance to sit down and tell his story himself, and he will.
Good looking kid.
Yeah, and if he will, he'll get a chance to tell his own story.
I know. I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah, when he get a chance to tell his story, he will be able to tell his story. When he was talking with other women from Sweden, from Norway.
That.
Yes, this is not nothing.
I thought we were going to go on a Dumb and Dumber trip. It would have been great.
That would be hilarious. But when he's talking to girls from Sweden and from Norway and from places like that, I'm not surprised or shocked. You're overseas. It's cool. I have no problem with it as long as you're doing it for the right reason. Don't just go to Japan just because it's $75,000 on the table. Even though that's going to be the answer for a lot of these dudes. A lot of these passport bros, I don't have to pay nothing. Y'all gonna pay me $75,000?
That's a cha-ching right there.
They're happy for that.
And you got moving in.
And you got the opportunity to be with a Japanese woman. Of course they're not gonna. Those dudes ain't gonna pass that up. It's the regular dudes who I'm telling, do it for the right reason. Don't just go over there for the sake of going over there. If you want to go over there and experience their culture, learn what they're like, learn what, Japanese likes and dislikes are and things like that. And if you so happen to find somebody who you're compatible with, not just from a sexual point of view, but from all points of view, and it makes sense, then you do it under those pretenses. You don't just do it just because there's a bag. And don't let them just throwing it at black people deter you otherwise. Because like I said, if $75,000 is a number, that is a low ball number.
Facts.
that's kind of the story.
Because people can blow it off.
Yeah, that's
right
kind of the story within the story that people are not really wanting to address. Everybody just wanting to address, oh well, they need black men to go over there. They need black men to go over there. That's been kind of the story. Why are they asking for black men? Y'all, nobody's asking the question. Everybody's just happy that they're asking for us now because black people's fascination with Asian women. I get it. But that leads. But I get it.
I'm sorry, I just know what you said.
I get it. It's their fascination with women, but I get it.
Here's is it like you said, 75? That's a low blow, but is it worth $75 just to go out there? It's not. I'm not gonna say you selling your soul, but just
I seen people do it for a lot less.
Because me and you, we both. I'm gonna just keep it talking. We both grew up in certain neighborhoods, and we see this every day. You know, brothers like, oh man, I just got this come up. You know, I ain't gotta worry about nothing. I ain't gotta worry about my big mama. I'm getting 75K. Boom. You know, anybody was up on that.
There is certain,
but at the same time,
I've known somebody who was a surrogate who got paid a pretty good amount of money, which funded their house that they're living in right now, which allowed them to move and do all this stuff just to be a surrogate. And they wasn't necessarily black, by the way, and they were funded. So I understand what it looks like. But here's the other thing I know. I understand the residual effects of that. Because because the person was a female, she was the one actually carrying the baby.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more bread involved, but still. It's not much different than anything else. It's like, I ain't gonna say it's cheating, but to a degree, you're carrying somebody else's baby.
That's true.
It's kind of a hard thing to swallow when you're with somebody who's carrying somebody else's baby. I don't care what the circumstances is. But I know people do this all the time, especially for celebrities and stuff. I've seen this happen too often, and just the bag is higher. So, like the surrogate who carried Northwest and Saint and all them. Think about them. You think about $75,000. Think about if you was a surrogate for them. They're taking care of for life. That person who carried for them, that young lady who carried for them, is taking care of for life. I mean, life. Literally. You're talking about two billionaires. Kanye West and Kim K. Talk about two billionaires. They're set for life. They probably fronted them like 15 mil and said 15 mil and kept quiet. Just keep go someplace, don't show your face, and keep quiet. And I got 15 mil for you.
Okay, now what you just said, you think that would happen out there if they said, look, we got y'all here.
If you're in front of the right person,
as long as you keep it, low key, we good.
If you're in front of the right person,
okay.
Come and say right now. Vic already talked about it. These are business people who run very prominent companies, who run very prominent products that we utilize to this day. Don't think for a second that they don't have the paper to actually up this money. They just threw a number out there and everybody started jumping at $75,000 because people in the West, $75,000 is a lot of money. I ain't poo-pooing on $75,000.
And you know the shady thing about that too? Certain females would tell certain dudes, but hey, you might want to jump on me.
Of course they would.
Of course they would. Of
course they would. And that's the other thing. They don't care and then when they say, well, $75,000, you might as well go ahead and do it. And then when you push them away to go do it, then they wind up doing it. Then you're mad that they actually did it.
Yeah.
Don't do stuff like that. That's bad. That's what we do.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We do stuff like that. And that's the reason why they offered it us, because they know that we would be more willing to do it more so than anybody else, because a lot of us don't have the discipline to say no. Nah, I ain't gonna do it for the money. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it for the right reason.
Exactly.
I don't care about the financial obligations. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. The money doesn't make no never mind to me.
Money comes and goes, but not people's values.
Right.
So, finally found it. It's very short, but it's in
I'll talk about
Ephesians. Thank you. It was in Ephesians 3, verse 15, but I'll read from 14. For this reason I kneel before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth derives its name. I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power through with all the Lord's holy people, together with all the Lord's holy people, to grasp how wide and how long and how high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. Now the critical thing that related to what we're talking about here, from whom every family in heaven and on earth derives its name. I mean, sadly, we call it race mixing, we call it all these technically wrong names because there's no race mixing involved. It's the human race. The fact that a man from one side of the globe can impregnate a woman from the other side of the globe and produce offspring, healthy offspring with no defect, shows that, yes, it's meant to be. After all, we're all human. Now, we do have different ethnicities. That is true. There's no denying that. It's true. I mean, look at our little group right here. But we're all still human. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these people, is that too many people, whether it be Japanese or black, have put a lot of emphasis and value on their skin color or their nationality, which there's really no value to be found in that, where your skin is only skin deep. You know, and that's the sad thing, is when you are essentially ignoring what God has said about man. And that is, we are all derived from him. We all came from Adam.
Yep.
The Bible is not a fairy tale, and nor is that poetry. Adam was a literal man, and there was a literal Eve. These two people actually existed at one point in time.
Yep.
They were kicked out of the Garden of Eden for disobeying God and eating of the fruit. Right? And then from there on, they had children. And their children had children. And those children had children. And so forth, until the flood. And then that's when God saved Noah, his son, and their wives.
And that's when they
and then we're descendants from them.
Yep.
We are literally genetically related to Noah, the man who built the ark. We are related to him. Now, it may be the smallest sliver of relation, but it's still there. Because without him, or his sons and their wives, none of us would be here. Therefore, it's foolish to think we're a different race. Now, some people say, well, why are there different skin colors and all that? Because humans have this one amazing trait called adaptability. Adaptability is common in humanity and in some animals. But it's not evolution. We're not evolving, we're just adapting.
Yep.
For instance, those who move to hotter climates develop darker skin to handle the sun,
Yep.
so they don't get burned. Those who lived in colder climates where it was more cloudy or whatnot
It's lighter.
were lighter, or if the sun was out, they too were tan because the sun will reflect off the snow and tan them. So the location on the earth didn't change the fact they were human, they just adapted differently. But humans, being who they are, living in sin and being fallen creatures, fell back onto pride. Why? Because that's the sin that started all of this. It's pride. I'm from over here, they're from over there. Over here's better. How dare they come from over there?
So I got one question.
No.
Is it love or is it money?
It's the love of money.
For the love of money.
Because if it's for the love of money, then everybody's going to jump on this.
Exactly.
Do you think this is going to bite them in the back really quick?
No.
Because it's
No.
a business
It's a
transaction.
business transaction.
Then was it last episode or 2 episodes ago we said things are transactional?
Well, no. Well, surely they're not going to take every applicant.
No.
No.
But they're gonna-
they'll have enough to get.
They're going to have enough people, just because you threw it out there, you're going to have enough people asking.
Yeah.
And they may not say, and here's how, I'll tell you how stupid we are. We can't give you 75, but would you be cool, 50?
Niggas will do it for my friends. They'll do it for 20.
This is what I was trying to tell you from jump.
It gotta be 75. It could be $5,000.
You would tell them like we'll take $5,000 in a box of yoo-hoos. We'll give you some Yoshinoya, and you can still have and dip.
So you think that's
and I'm just saying, I'm not even trying to. I'm being funny, but I ain't being funny.
No, that's why they chose black people.
Because they know they can. Because we would even negotiate down from a number.
With money for black people, it is, especially with the high expectation or low expectation, it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, we know what we get. It could be $500. We'll still take it.
So it's just because they're financially exploitable.
Yes, because we put too much value on it.
Because
everything is money.
Think about it, $100 to a regular person, to a regular black person, it's $1 million.
No, it's just their thing.
It's just that
we chase money too much.
Yeah,
we put so much things into material stuff. We're the one. Why I did this to myself? I'm sorry. We're the ones. I know. We're the ones who put too much value in brands. We're the ones who's like, well, I gotta go get them colorway dunks. We're the ones who gotta wear the product. We're the ones who gotta wear all the designer stuff.
Like said,
most other cultures don't give two.
For us, like you said, it's the chase.
It's the
chase.
We feel like the brand makes us.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
We feel like the brand makes us. If you saw somebody with some Adidas on versus some Nike jumps, you'd be like, well, they both cost the same amount of money. My Adidas cost the same amount as your jumps, but we value dunks better than Adidas.
No, you're not wrong. But I got something for you.
I'll tell you one better. Here, let me get this. I'll let you get this. Let me get this one. Let me get this.
Go for it.
Let me get this. Let me get this. Females, you've seen this on social media, will say, and I quote,
verbatim,
I will not date a guy unless they have an iPhone. And I quote, I will not date guys unless they have an iPhone. Why? Because they put too much value into a material thing versus the person.
Jokes on
just
her,
because that,
before.
yeah. Here's a joke. Here's the jokes on you. Okay, this dude has a Samsung 25, right? Brand spanking new, fresh off the lot. So the guy who has an iPhone, he may have an iPhone 13, drives like a regular car. This dude got a Samsung, driving a Tesla, but you ain't gonna take the dude just because he got a Samsung phone. But this is what we do. We put value on stuff like that.
I got something on top of that. So I used to, and I've done this before, especially in high school. We used to, me and my boys and another couple of people used to argue who had the first Pro Club.
Yeah, it's like, but we don't. Yeah, a lot of people would. But,
you ain't getting no girl with that Pro Club if she see you in that Pro Club.
Right.
Your Pro Club ain't
but think about what you just said. You ain't getting no girl because the girls value it.
Yeah.
So when we look at a female, are we really looking that she got a Coach bag or a Louis Vuitton bag? No, we don't care.
We're thinking about one thing.
No, it's not even that. What do you look like? It doesn't matter the brand. It doesn't look good on you. It doesn't matter if it's Louis Vuitton or Coach or Reebok.
Girl looks good.
You could be wearing some Walmart jeans, a regular t-shirt. If you look good, you look good.
Yep.
Just because you wear Louis Vuitton don't make you. A lot of people who have all this high profile stuff got stank attitudes and really don't look good. They just have high profile stuff. They don't look good.
They actually stank.
Yeah. They baptized in the funk. But I just bring that to say this. It's like we put value on. I know. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, subscribers, but see, but this goes into,
people have to hear this shit.
But the reason why I say because we put value in the wrong things half the time. You know, you're putting value in $75,000 and not the baby.
That's why
I didn't even get to that part yet. I talked literally about
Oh,
the money.
no.
We didn't even talk about the baby.
Oh no! Is this a welfare situation again?
See, here we go. Here we go.
That's gonna be another time.
Here we go.
Dude, we don't got time for that.
I'm not going. We're not even going there because I haven't even got to how this all ties in. So we even talked about the love aspect, the kid aspect. Because here's the thing: all those things ties into it. You ain't going over there for love. You ain't going over there for like anything else. You're just purely going over there for some money and maybe some draws.
Yeah. Sound like Tom.
And maybe some draws.
But
you ain't going over there for no other reason. You not even concerning yourself with, dog, that is my baby who is over there
And that's the problem.
and looking out for that. And most people who are real parents don't care about the money. They care about making sure their son or daughter's taken care of. Shout out to my kids, by the way. Love y'all to death. But they don't understand that. It didn't matter. When I was taking care of my kids, it didn't matter how much money it was. I could tell you how much it was. It was $300,000. But it doesn't matter. Because it's not a for how much money that I had to give out. $300,000 is what it equated to. It's okay.
Basically, what you said.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes,
Yeah, okay.
it's okay.
Right.
And the reason why
Couldn't really clarify what you were talking about before.
$300,000 to make sure they were straight.
Yeah, I got you.
It's okay. Because it doesn't matter how much money was involved. It's because I love them. It didn't matter about the money.
Because you made that, of course.
That's the thing that people are not. They ain't sticking to that point. They're so worried about $75,000. They're not worried about all the other stuff that comes along with it. That's your baby if you go over there. Is your baby worth $75,000 for a lot of people? Apparently, the answer is yes. I seen people do some really stupid stuff to kids for the strength of money. You know, leave their kids in a house and then go on a cruise for a week when their kids are fending for themselves. Oh yeah, there's a story about that too. But we do that stuff. We do that. That's us. Because we put more stock value in material and stuff versus people. We do that.
Yeah, the sad thing is the population is making money off of it.
We do that. But let's talk about let's slide off. Let's slide off that. Let's go into here.